Okay, so this is how you can replicate React, right? So this is the outcome. So we submit data, right? Whatever, blah, blah, right? This will feed data into MongoDB, which MongoDB will return the entire object, which is this object here, right? This object here, right? Then we're going to map through this data, and we're going to return it in here. So you see, that's our blah. So how do we do that? How do we do that, right? The way to do it is very simple, right? When we're mapping through the data, we want to obviously destructure the values that we want to output. Now, the most important thing is how you return it, right? So we're mapping through data. We want to return a single div. So, right, you use template literals, div, a single div, right? And then you can put stuff into the single div, right? Now, why do you have to return a single div? This is because if you console log display data, right, you will see that it will have an array full of, you see? So it is an array with single entry, okay? And that single entry contains all of your data, right? So effectively, it's returning an array with single entry pair array with this information in it. And we know that when we pass an array into the HTML element, it will display it as a, well, I'll show you. Let me just show you. So we're actually going to, so let us target, let's just open up this one, right? So we're targeting this div in here, and we're going to put some inner HTML into it in the form of an array, right? So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3. So let's just submit, right? So you see now it just displays it as, you see, like the array is gone and only the values are plugged in. Does that make sense? So when you put inner HTML array as an inner HTML, and the inside of the array there are strings, it will just paint them on the canvas, if that makes sense, right? So we can of course take advantage of that by simply returning divs, right? We can return a string with HTML coding in it, and because it's painting on the canvas, it will follow the HTML rules and paint div, horizontal line, paragraph, whatever. This is kind of how React works in reality, right? So you don't really need to use React to actually achieve this kind of like effect where a function is returning HTML that then gets painted on the canvas, because that's what React does, effectively speaking. You have a function which is called component, right? And then that function returns HTML, and that HTML gets painted on the canvas. But you can accomplish that yourself through just jQuery or targeting the elements in the HTML. But of course, the reason why we use React is because of state management and use effect and a lot of cool things that do not require you to hard code in JavaScript. I mean, generally speaking, React is just a wonderful tool. Okay, but that's overall how you can paint. You can create like a map or a function, and then that function returns HTML code, and that HTML code gets painted on the canvas. Okay, so Take care.